it's Tisha Holman. Look, the year's just started. It's 2019, and it's time for us to talk about what are the trends in the digital marketplace? What is hot for 2019? This is the perfect timing for you to get an idea of what some of the trends are and see if you can implement them in your strategy as you kick off the new year. So let's get started. Video. So video has been on the top of the trend list for quite a while. It's been projected that 85% of the content that we consume on social media and really just on digital platforms in general is going to be video by the year 2020. Guys, that's next year. It's right around the corner. So video definitely bears mentioning, and with video being a trend, a continued increase in trend, it's important that your video content is solid. Give them something that they care about seeing. Video content doesn't have to be super polished and produced. I think that expectation is waning, but you've definitely got to utilize video as a way that you communicate with your audience. Next, let's talk about bots. Bots are definitely on the rise in popularity. More and more businesses are using them to answer general FAQ type of questions when their clients reach out or customer base reaches out, as well as they're a great way to warm up or qualify leads. You may be using a chat bot in Facebook or maybe even on your website some kind of way, and the chat bot is able to answer some of those general preliminary questions before a warm body actually gets an opportunity to communicate with a potential client or customer. So definitely looking into how you can leverage bot technology to have those first touch base interactions with your clients or your customer base is going to be super important. Voice commands and voice search are on the rise. So when I say voice, think Alexa, who's the amazing social media digital strategist, right? A lot of people are using voice to search for things nowadays. Asking Alexa or Siri is really kind of the new Google in some respects. And so a way that you can prepare for an increase in popularity for the use of voice searches is to optimize your websites and your content. When you're developing SEO, optimize it for voice commands. So currently, traditionally, when you outline or when you decide what your SEO strategy is going to be for the content that's on your websites and other places, it's heavily keyword based, and not to say that keywords are going away, but it would behoove you to begin to craft your content and curate your content in a way that is natural, in the way that one would search if they were using voice commands. Personalized interactions. So we all know that we have lots and lots of technology available to us that allows us to have a very deep understanding of our customers' behaviors once they come into our ecosystem from a technology perspective. There's efforts around retargeting, the use of pixels and things like that, where we have a lot of intelligence. We can be very intelligent business owners when it comes to what happens when they come to my website. How do they even get to my website? Once they're there, what are they clicking on? We can very easily find the answers to these questions. And so it's time to start utilizing and leveraging that data and that intelligence to communicate back to clients. And so that can come in the form of sending highly segmented and targeted emails to make sure that you are communicating with them about the things that interest them most. And then, of course, enhanced and increased retargeting efforts just to make sure that you're capturing them at the level of interest. That's going to be super important this year. AI, artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is another one. Organizations are using it on the increase more for, like I said, kind of like the bots, low-hanging FAQ questions and some content marketing where AI is concerned. Another way that AI is being used is for reporting and analytics. So again, looking to see how you can leverage artificial intelligence to streamline some of your systems and make some workflows more simpler as far as how you communicate with your outside constituents, and then just how you run day-to-day operations. Remember, mind your business. Always be in the mindset of working on your business, not in your business. And AI can definitely be a great tool in your belt to help you maximize your time and efficiencies in those places this year. Micro influencers. So one of the things that folks get really caught up on sometimes, especially when it comes to social media, is really trying to find opportunities for influencers to help them leverage their brand or get their stuff in front of new audiences, products, services, whatever the case may be. But the trend is utilizing the power of the micro influencer, finding somebody who may not be that celebrity or that top person in a particular industry, but there's somebody who is relevant to your industry but has a highly engaged audience. So sometimes you might want to be on that celebrity's platform, but them posting your stuff doesn't really do anything for you. But it may be more advantageous for you to begin looking at micro influencers who are the local go-to on a particular subject. Find people who may not be the big name, but they have that highly engaged audience, which will increase likelihood of the effectiveness of you even partnering with them in the first place. Social messaging. So think WhatsApp. Think things like Marco Polo. Those type of and even DMs, those type of platforms where people can communicate with one another, or even in group chat conversations on those social messaging apps. The numbers there are increasing tremendously. So look for ways that you can create ad placements in those spaces to touch your target, your core and your target audience in social messaging apps. That's definitely on the rise. Visual search. And I thought this was interesting when I discovered that this was really trending, because I realized that this is something that I myself have really been doing on the increase lately. Is the example that I have personally is I was looking for a particular article of clothing and I couldn't find it at the usual stores that I frequent. So I found something similar to what I was looking for and then did a Google search with the image. That is definitely on the rise. People are using visual searches to locate items and products. They're also updating, like for instance, you could take a picture of a book and then get reviews on the book once you upload the image. Maybe a picture of food, and you can get input from a restaurant or things like that. So people are definitely using the power of the picture to get more information and insights on the products and services that they're interested in. Stories. Stories are definitely on the rise, and stories have already been something that was a trend. I think it was really a part of trends last year, but they're definitely on the rise. And not just stories, but stories that really show that in the moment, those micro moment type of interactions. People aren't looking for so much of the canned, highly designed looking story, but they really want that behind the scenes glimpse, that back end touch point with the brands that they are interested in using. So step your story game up. Start showing more of those micro moments, more of those behind the scenes opportunities, so that your audience can really get to know you and have that additional touch point behind the scenes. With the increase in stories, it's expected that some timeline engagement may go down. Now, that doesn't mean abandon a well done timeline. That doesn't mean go away from using high res images and great video content that is giving people solid content. Don't take that out of your strategy. It's just, if you do see a decline in some of your likes, if you feel like you're not getting the same bang for your buck that you once did out of hashtags, it's really just because we're seeing a shift in attention to what's happening in stories. So you're going to have to start cooking on both fires where it comes to stories and the timeline engagement. Another thing that's on the rise is groups and communities. Facebook is putting a lot of emphasis and a lot of attention to making sure that groups and communities on Facebook are enhanced, and that they're really there to create highly engaged segmented groups of folks that makes those platforms viable and a sense of community, if you will, on Facebook. So if you have a product or a service or a targeted interest niche that you can create a group for on Facebook, look to that. Look to create that highly engaged, highly connected extension of your brand on Facebook. They definitely are adding more and more features to groups and communities to make them a great place to hang out and to grow and develop your brand. The other thing is vertical video. Vertical video is going to be important because vertical video supports Instagram, TV, IGTV, as well as it supports stories and just overall ephemeral content. And so again, we know that stories are on the rise. Ephemeral content is kind of the buzzword. So that content that self-destructs in 24 hours unless you pin it to a highlight on Instagram or Snapchat, how things go away, that's the type of content that we're talking about. And so vertical video is where those areas of content are optimized. You need to have vertical video for Instagram TV, stories, and just that space overall, stories on Instagram and Facebook. So get used to using vertical video instead of the traditional landscape version that we have begun a lot of our video production on now. You're going to kind of have to shift gears to optimize video content for those spaces. Now, the digital trend, that this last one that I'm going to mention, I think is the most important, and it's really the driving force behind all that I've mentioned so far, and that's authenticity and transparency. Amongst video and bots and artificial intelligence and Alexa, girl, help me find this, people are looking for that less curated, less canned glance into you and your organization. And so you're going to have to start to connect with the people. So, I'm talking to business owners and entrepreneurs out there. So that means the CEO, the leader, you can't be so disconnected into what's happening on social. And I know that with the day-to-day interactions or the day-to-day requirements rather of just running your business, you feel like sometimes you may not have time to connect with people on social media, but they're looking for that. They want to have an insight into who's driving the boat of this brand or this service or this product that they're following. And so authenticity is going to be very important. Not so much of that canned, I'm going to post a bunch of pictures of me like, oh, just look like I'm having a great day, and I show this random photo of myself, and then I put some content behind it, but there's really nothing substantive there. That's not going to fly anymore. That's not going to garner the likes and the followers and the engagement that it once did. People want you to keep it real. Okay, that's just the bottom line. They want you to keep it real and give them substantive content and give them a reason to engage with you. It's almost like it's a buyer's market when it comes to followers engaged in an engagement these days. You have got to show some value to what you're offering to keep people coming back to your spaces. So that's all I have. These are, what I surmise. I've gathered this from a few sources, some things from my own insights. But this is what's going to be hot for 2019 in the digital arena. Prepare yourself. Again, video, bots, voice searches, personalization of interactions, artificial intelligence, micro influencers, social messaging, visual searches, stories, a decrease in timeline engagement, groups and community, vertical video, and authenticity. I hope that you have found this information useful. Check back soon for more updates. Until next time, mind your business.